Hello, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a pretty unique video so far for me, and that is for this Pokemon Go's new Buddy update. Now, these updates really are not, when they're released by Niantic, they're not really very detailed in the description of exactly how these updates work, so I decided I would explore them myself and give you guys some just basic tips and pointers of how to actually implement the various updates. Of course, starting, if we do more videos of this kind, like we may in the future, but for right now, we're focusing on the update that came out today. Today, the video was recorded, obviously, of the Buddy system, as I've taken to calling it. And you can see, let me move my camera, there we go. You can see, no, not Pokemon. Right here, I've got my buddy Beedrill, as set as my buddy right now. You can see him hovering there, looking pretty fly behind me. And so how you actually have a Pokemon become your buddy is, first of all, you click on your icon down here at the bottom left, and you click this button on the bottom right, and you'll see your options: Journal, Customize, and Buddy. So I can see Beedrill, and what he's got down there at the bottom of him is how many kilometers that I have walked with him. And once I walk a full kilometer with Beedrill, I get a Beedrill candy, or a Weedle candy. Of course, since every evolutionary tree for any particular tree of Pokemon has only one candy. So if you walk a Weedle, you walk a Kakuna, you walk a Beedrill, all of it's pretty much the same. They'll give you the same kind of candy. And so that so far seems to be the only thing that you can actually get from making a Pokemon your buddy is you can walk them for candy. And I really like that update because it kind of gets back to the spirit of the original Pokemon games, where instead of just catching new and better Pokemon like Pokemon Go has been about so far, you can spend time with the Pokemon, walk with them, and sort of train them as best as this game allows you to train anyway. So all of you people who chose Charmander and never saw another Charmander again, you now, just by walking, can get your Charmander up to a Charizard just by walking it around and spending time with it, which is pretty cool. It means that rare and Pokemon that spawn rarely now have a chance to actually evolve and get better. And since Stardust can be collected from any Pokemon, if you keep walking your particular Pokemon, you can potentially make it as powerful as you want it to be. And of course, it's obviously still easier to find candy off of Pokemon that you catch, but this is a nice alternative / compensation for Pokemon that are rare, but you still want to be good on your team, or you just like. Okay, so you'll see down here at the bottom right that there's this little swap button that I can click, and this is important because it says, let me move my icon. Okay, are you sure you want to swap your buddy? Any current progress will be lost. That means if I've walked 0.9 kilometers with Beedrill, and I almost have that candy, and I switch from Beedrill to another Pokemon, that all of that progress will be lost, and if I switch then back to Beedrill, it'll be back down to 0. So if you're going to swap, make sure that you grab that last candy before you choose a different Pokemon. Okay, but let's see. Instead of Beedrill, let's say we wanted to switch to Pidgeot. We just click on him. And then Pidgeot is now our buddy. He stands behind us. He's got his little meter at the bottom left down there, right next to my meter. And he can be walked for candy as well, in this case, Pidgey candy. Now let's see if he's... Okay, he's not different, but let me try to find somebody who is different. Because you'll notice both Beedrill, therefore Weedle, and Pidgeot, therefore Pidgey, candies, we got 1 for every kilometer, but it's not the case with all of them. I did hatch this Jinx out of a 10k egg, and Jinxes actually give you one candy for every 5 kilometers you walk. And as far as I can tell, there's not a set rule for what will give you what kind of Pokemon how many kilometers they're required to walk for how much candy. But it tends to be rare are 5, common are 1, and medium are 3. All the starters are 3 kilometers for 1 candy, with the exception sort of Pikachu, which is only 1 candy per kilometer. There's also Magikarp, thank the Lord, is only 1 candy per kilometer. That's still 400 kilometers or 399 or whatever. But it's much. I was worried that Magikarp would be like 5 kilometers for one candy just because of the whole stigma of Magikarp being really rare. Luckily, that is not the case. Now, I really do love just being able to see your Pokemon standing behind you in like full 3D. It's probably honestly just my favorite part of this update, even though it really doesn't do anything besides aesthetics. But I just think it looks so cool. And there's a few different looks for the Pokemon, like where they're standing. So let's see, a medium-sized Pokemon. Let me see. Like my boy Ivysaur here. He'll be standing to your side. He looks pretty cool. I also like how you can actually see how big the Pokemon is in comparison to you. I'm not sure they're all 100% accurate, but that's kind of a thing in Pokemon anyway, that nobody really has a very clear idea of how big anybody is. So the medium ones will be standing beside you, and obviously large ones, like you saw with Exeggutor, will be standing behind you, just so they can fit in the frame. I personally think the bug Pokemon, like Venomoth and Beedrill and Butterfree, look the coolest because they hover upright instead of horizontally like birds do. So they're like right there on your shoulder, ready to go into battle. But honestly, without a doubt, even though I do love the look of the bug Pokemon, the 100% winner of this is small Pokemon will sit on your shoulder. It is the cutest thing. I mean, I knew somebody who casually plays Pokemon Go and really didn't care about the Buddy update at all. As soon as that person saw the Eevee on my shoulder, had to have this update. All right, well, really quick, there was just a couple more funny things I wanted to show you, like the size disparities that come up when you've got this update on. For instance, my Weezing, named Carl Weezer there, in honor of the Jimmy Neutron show, is a lot smaller than I imagined Weezing to be, which is kind of funny, but I guess you really never know. And of course, I don't know if these are 100% accurate, but it is interesting to see. But by far the weirdest one for me was Venonat. Look at this guy. That is just massive. Way bigger. And he actually, I think he even maybe loses mass. Or maybe it's just all in the fur when he turns into Venomoth. But anyway, guys, that is pretty much the width and breadth of this new update. Just an added little mechanic and a whole lot of fun visuals. So thank you all so much for joining me. I hope everybody has found this video useful. Please like it and share it with your friends if you did find it useful and you think they could find it useful too. Thank you all so much for joining me, and I will see you all next time.